There is a great deal of drama going on in the realm of you. Individuals are agitating the situation, observing your responses, and trying to disrupt your tranquility. Now, however, you are in the mode of temperance vigor. You have become the silence that exposes their cacophony, the calm that they are unable to create any longer. It is because your soul no longer works according to the rules of chaos that you are experiencing the sensation that the world is falling apart in order to draw you in. At the same time that you are avoiding drama, you are also disarming it. As a result of the shift in your vibration, the masks that are surrounding you are beginning to fracture under the pressure. The performances that were once more powerful are now rendered ineffective when you are present. They can go ahead and stir the pot as much as they want, but the fact that you have ceased contributing your energy as an ingredient is the thing that is driving them crazy more than anything else. The mayhem that you are currently observing is not a coincidence. It is a specific reaction to the height that you have set. You are no longer able to contact the same version of yourself because you have outgrown the energetic contracts that used to tie you. Those individuals who once thrived in your confusion are no longer given access to you. This is not a coincidence. Rather, it is a religious principle. Because of your alignment, the unresolved aspects of other people are coming to the surface, and rather of healing, they are reacting to all that is happening. That change in you represents a potential threat. They are reminded of the work that they have been avoiding. The clarity with which you are moving reveals the state of bewilderment that others are experiencing. When they are unable to contact you as easily as they formerly did, they will create chaos in order to test whether or not you will continue to dance in it. People are not interested in your tranquility. Rather, they want your participation. Your reaction, your validation, and your enthusiasm are what they are looking for. When they discover that you have shut the door, they do not simply go. Rather, they pound on it loudly and desperately in an attempt to get through. An old energetic technique that is attempting to retake power is the drama that you are currently witnessing. It is an attempt to entice you to return to the version of yourself that was able to tolerate deception, disorientation, and emotional baiting. It is not because the strategies have changed that it will no longer be effective. Rather, it is because you have changed. Once upon a time, you would answer, you would explain yourself, you would defend your silence, and you would clarify your decisions. You are now aware of the consequences of that. Every response was a withdrawal from your own serenity, and every explanation was an invitation for other people to invade your space even farther. In addition, the chaos is unable to comprehend you now that you have chosen to remain stationary. Systems that once relied on your predictability are now unable to read you because you have become unreadable. However, it is neither ego nor cold. Rather, it is spiritual discernment. They name it ego, and they label it frigid. At this point, you are no longer available for performances that are based on control. This drama is not a random occurrence. Rather, it is the final gasp of veteran energies attempting to maintain their relevance in your profession. This is a test, a spiritual siren call that asks you if you would continue to fall for the things that destroyed you in the past. However, now you have a better understanding of what goes on behind the scenes. You are aware that the performance will only be able to continue if you agree to be a member of the cast, and you are aware that you will not be performing on stage this time. Your lack of reaction is uncomfortable to those individuals who thrive on commotion, and you are not reacting. In the past, they were able to provoke you, but today it doesn't bother you as much as it used to. Over time, you have developed a spiritual isolation. The people who flourished in your past imbalance now feel as though they are being exposed on a spiritual level, since you are the embodiment of moderation. Due to the fact that you do not provide an anchor, they are no longer able to anchor themselves in your storm. You have evolved into the silence that either brings about transformation or reveals those who are unwilling to change. Whatever the case may be, you are not going back to the things that used to bring you down. Certain individuals are able to see that the shift in your soul has begun to close doors that were before wide open. This is something that can be felt not only intellectually, but also spiritually. It terrifies them that they appear to be losing access to you, and they perceive that this is happening. It's not only about losing a connection, it's also about losing control of these situations. Karmic cycles are coming to a conclusion, and these cycles bring with them a sense of desperation. Consequently, they stir the pot not because they are unsure of what to do, but rather because they are calculated. It is not a random occurrence, rather it is deliberate. In the hope that you will rush in and perform the role that they are accustomed to assigning you, some people are creating crises that do not actually exist. Others are muttering your name in rooms that they have no business being in, with the intention of casting shadows on a light that they are unable to access. Their goal is not to have your presence. Rather, they are looking for your attention. They are simply interested in gaining access to your energy, your reactions, and your emotional currency. They do not want you back. And when that access is taken away from them, they go into a panic. In reality, it is not love or longing. Rather, it is a spiritual entitlement that is disguised as concern. You didn't stumble here by accident. You were led. If something in your spirit is stirring, don't ignore it. Tap Join to access exclusive content, prophetic insights, and a community of purpose-driven souls. This isn't just a membership. It's your moment of alignment. Step into who you were born to be. Welcome to the chosen. Because they are unable to physically contact you, they are focusing on your name. Their activities include gossiping, projecting, and fabricating narratives. On a spiritual level, however, you are sealed, protected, and removed, so it makes no difference anyway. In the past, there are those to whom you have over-explained yourself, individuals to whom you have exhausted yourself in an effort to heal, fix, or demonstrate your usefulness. Those same individuals are now experiencing the silence that you have chosen, and it is more effective than any explanation that you could provide. Considering that it is the only movement they are familiar with, they are stirring the pot. They are terrified of stillness because it compels them to engage in introspection, which is something they have avoided for many years. As a result, they make noise in the expectation that you would break your silence and confront them. Nevertheless, if you have already walked away from the table, there is nothing to confront. Those individuals who are most strongly affected by your evolution are also the ones who are producing the greatest havoc. It's possible that they will never say it out loud, but they are aware that you are unique. Despite the fact that they are aware that they are unable to reach you in the same manner, they have decided to sabotage what they are unable to control rather than evolve with you. Allow them to do so. Allow them to clap their hands. Allow them to spin tales, and allow them to stir the pot. They are unaware of the fact that the flame they are attempting to stoke is you, the person they are trying to provoke. This time, however, they are not resistant to fire. It is obvious that you are aware that the game is rigged. Also, if you are paying attention, you are aware that the barriers are getting closer and closer. Now let's talk about the actions that we are taking to address this issue. People have the right to demand certain things when they are living by the day at the command of the market, when profit and property rule the land, when they want to be heard, when they want to be held, and when they want to be dealt a fair hand. As well as we hear you, what you are constructing right now is not for show. Rather, it is for your dominance. Because it is holy, your development is held in strict confidence. What terrifies them is precisely this: you cannot be reached, not only physically, but also on a spiritual level. Your soul has moved to a new location, therefore they are unable to use the same methods to get to you. It is not that you are ignoring them, rather, you are existing past them. They attempt to bring back the old version of you by making statements that are passive-aggressive, by providing backhanded compliments, and by creating crises that are created, but nothing responds to them. You have become a reflection of yourself to them. You are recognizable, yet inaccessible to them. This is the result of taking a higher-up position. When you approach closer to your destination, the air becomes thinner. Not everyone was meant to breathe there. You are planting seeds without making a sound. There is a reason why they are so noisy. Because they are unable to comprehend what you are doing, they fabricate stories in order to fill in the blanks. Allow them to do so. In the midst of their slander, you are expanding, and while they are spreading rumors, you are growing. In point of fact, they were never truly your audience. Rather, they were a source of diversion. In addition, they are no longer able to enter the stage now that you have regained your energy. You used to make an effort to convince everyone to come along. Once upon a time, you would reveal the vision too early in the hopes that someone would comprehend it. You now realize that the stillness is a form of protection, and the quiet is a form of clarity. They are not entitled to have visibility into your recovery process. They are not entitled to access to your procedure in any way. They are no longer able to engage in casual interaction with you or emotionally play with you the way they once did. There are some people who are not supposed to walk on the sacred ground that you have become. We are not seeking retribution here. It is not the purpose of this event to disprove anyone. Constructing something that is eternal, founded in alignment and protected by discernment, is the focus of this endeavor. One border at a time, one decision at a time, your hidden empire is becoming more and more established. Let them chat and allow them to be curious. They will find answers to every question that they have never had the confidence to ask out loud thanks to your harvest. This is not because you are concealing. Rather, it is because you have healed that you are untouchable. The thing that used to puncture your spirit is no longer even close to touching your surface. Being detached is not the same thing as evolution. Having a high level of emotional intelligence has become your shield. At this point, you are able to see through the manipulation. You are able to feel the energy even before the words are said. The things that they used to use against you, such as guilt, humiliation, and turmoil, no longer carry any bearing. It is a miraculous transformation. That's self-mastery that you have achieved. Protectiveness is not the same thing as arrogance. If your heart overflows with God's blessings, let that love shine. Click the super thank you button and give $20 or more to plant seeds of faith that will impact countless lives. Your generosity reflects His abundance. Be a vessel of His grace and watch His kingdom flourish through you. It is because you have come to the realization that not every conflict is meant to be fought that you are able to deflect every jab, every sideways word, and every deliberate silence that they throw at you. Some are just supposed to be avoided by walking away from them. Your removal from those circumstances was not a form of punishment from the divine. Rather, it was a form of preparation. You are receiving reinforcements. What once brought you to your knees now exposes your resilience and fortitude. Your lack of reaction is not passive. Rather, it is intentional. This is power that is disguised as constraint. People are perplexed as to how you arrived to this point. They are perplexed by your lack of anxiety and your ability to maintain your composure despite their efforts to interrupt your frequency. The nights that you cried by yourself, however, they were not there for you. After the storms that they were not even aware you had endured, they did not witness you rebuilding yourself, brick by brick and prayer by prayer. This is the reason why they are unable to touch you. The thing that you are carrying was not given to you. Rather, it was created in fire. As a result of the time that it takes away from you, you no longer respond to every insult that is directed at you. Due to the fact that you have witnessed how it depletes your peace of mind, you no longer defend every possibility. The realization that proving your truth to individuals who are intent on misinterpreting you is a spiritual diversion is something that you have learned. Your movements have changed now. It is safe for you to move. People are hesitant to give you a shot because you move with the kind of discernment that causes them to think twice. You do not need to brag about your progress. It is already apparent to everyone. It has an effect on how you react, or more often than not, how you do not react. Moreover, this is the most important factor that is causing them to shake. Unfortunately, you are no longer emotionally available to engage in the conflicts that used to occupy you. Not only do you not flinch when they shout, but you also do not swing when they swing. You simply are not. And in that unwavering presence, they sense something that they are unable to control: power. It is impossible for any amount of noise to penetrate what God has fortified in stillness, as you are spiritually sealed, covered, and carried. Your tranquility is quite audible. When it enters a room before you do, it immediately alters the ambience without uttering a single word. In the eyes of individuals who thrive on attention, commotion, and control, peace is confrontation. This means that it is not only quiet, it is disruptive. It serves as a reminder of what others do not possess, and that confrontation is not the result of anything you are doing. Rather, it is the result of who you have made yourself into. The fact that you are no longer reactive is just one of the many things that irritates those individuals who have gained their influence by pulling your strings. Instead of being angry at your quiet, they are angry because they are unable to break through it. It's not that they are upset with your distance. Rather, they are upset that it will be permanent. When you encounter things that used to set you off, you are now met with silence, and they are at a loss for what to do with that. As a result of your progress, you are no longer susceptible to emotional manipulation, fake urgency, or bait. And this evolution allows you to immediately deconstruct their techniques. You have rendered yourself unreadable and unmovable. Your tranquility has suddenly become a mirror, reflecting back to them the aspects of themselves that they are not yet prepared to confront. You're not here by chance. Feel the pull, tap join to unlock truth, purpose, and a tribe that gets it. This is more than a membership, it's your calling. Your quiet is deafening to those individuals who make use of your turbulence in order to feel rooted in their own dysfunctional relationship. They are dependent on your energy, and now that you have severed the connection, they are going in the opposite direction. They exert more pressure in the hope that you collapse. They make snide remarks while seeming to be concerned. By pretending to check in, they test the bounds of the system. Your spirit, on the other hand, is no longer affected by noise. Rather, it is affected by truth. And the truth does not scream. Rather, it remains silent. The issue at hand is not one of pride, rather, it is religious authority. It is no longer necessary for you to provide an explanation for your calm, to defend your separation, or to translate your quiet into language that is approachable. It has come to your attention that certain individuals do not want comprehension, but rather control. They label you as difficult, cold, and distant when you refuse to give them control over the situation. Allow them to do so. Allow them to project and cause them to panic. Those individuals who once took advantage of your instabilities are not owed access to you. Peace is not a passive state. Rather, it is a forceful state. It is a decision, a means of self-control, and a limit. And it is offensive to those who never imagined that you would discover it. Those individuals who used to throw you off center are now finding themselves disoriented because your stillness not only protects you, but also convicts them of their actions to do so. Despite the fact that you have stopped playing the game, they are still stuck into the performance. They should be allowed to spiral and swirl. It is precisely because you are no longer engaged that they experience a sense of powerlessness. The drama is not the only thing at play here. It never was. It's all about coming to light. It is the chaos that is surrounding you that is revealing what was concealed in plain sight. The masks are falling off, the affiliations are shifting, and the truth is becoming more audible than any excuse that could possibly be made. This is a form of non-physical X-ray vision. The things that your soul has previously sensed are being revealed to you. Every interruption, every betrayal, and every weird conduct is a divine unveiling. And it is not to hurt you, but to inform you. It was necessary for you to find out who was cheering for your survival, yet uncomfortable with your tranquility. You are not being attacked. Rather, someone is elaborating on something. This is not a form of punishment. Rather, it is focus. Distractions that are disguised as assistance are being removed by the divine. What was once considered love is now being filtered through your new frequency, and it is not holding up. And despite the fact that it may inflict suffering, it is a gift since you no longer have to speculate. You are now aware of the truth. You are aware of who was clinging to your light and who was simply lingering in the shadows of your presence. You didn't realize how much mercy you needed until you were exposed to this. Certain individuals were only connected to the version of you that was currently experiencing difficulties due to the fact that it made them feel more needed. They were able to handle your chaos. However, such is not the case now that you have achieved stability and clarity. They do not recognize you. While you were in survival mode, they accepted you, but your healing causes a disruption in the dynamic. From this point forward, you will not bow, you will not beg, and you will not explain away your tranquility in order to make other people feel comfortable in their perplexity. Most people are unable to adapt to that change. That, however, is the purpose. Instead of trying to bring you down, the pressure is meant to bring you up. It is not an indication of regression that the discomfort is occurring. Rather, it is proof of ascension. It is a part of the process that you are being repositioned, and as part of that process, you will be required to watch old ties fall apart. This is not due to any drama, but rather because they were never constructed on divine alignment to begin with. Not only is this moment extremely intimate, but it is also prophetic. You are entering a version of yourself that is incapable of carrying what used to seem familiar, and the aspect of unfamiliarity that you are entering is sacred. Do not interfere with the exposure's work. Allow the masks to fall off. Listen to the sound of silence. As this unfolds, A more significant purpose is taking shape, one that will not permit anything that is counterfeit to accompany you. It is not that you are losing people, rather, you are losing illusions. Additionally, this is what elevation always necessitates. There is no indication that you are veering off course simply because everything around you appears to be unstable. The fact of the matter is that it is evidence that you are just where you are supposed to be. When you begin to walk in divine harmony, disorder does not disappear. Rather, it becomes more visible and audible. After you have stopped shrinking, the resistance will start to build up. It is not because you are doing something wrong that people become uncomfortable. Rather, it is because they are no longer able to contact you in the same manner that they recalled previously. This unease is not a burden on you. Rather, it is a reflection of their own. Be careful not to mix the disquiet of other people with your own mistake. Make sure that you don't let their projections cause you to hesitate. In other words, you are not overly silent, you are not overly distant, and you are not very different. You are perfectly aligned. Additionally, alignment has a frequency that, to individuals who have only ever understood your brokenness, brings forth feelings of rejection. They liked you more when you were uncertain, when you over-explained, and when you questioned your own judgment. They refer to your actions as cold and arrogant. But now that you are moving with clarity, they term it that. But it is not. Rather, it is confirmation. The current iteration of you does not perform well enough to be accepted. Despite the fact that it may require strolling alone, this version respects the truth. A chaotic environment will make an effort to persuade you that you have gone too far, that you should strive to reach out to others, and that you have changed too much. However, that distance is necessary for growth. Silence is required for it. Your light, which they find unsettling, is the glow that you earned when you were wearing darkness. Don't let the fact that they can't stand the brightness of your light drive you to doubt it. It is not you who is the issue. Rather, you are the revelation. The fact that they have been forced to confront what they have repressed as a result of your progress has caused them to retreat and blame you for shining rather than rising with you. The watered-down version of yourself is not something that you owe to anyone. It is not necessary for you to bring down your shine in order to keep ties that are founded in your past suffering. Not loyalty, but bondage is what you have here. The calling that has been placed on your life is immutable. Having come this far, you have no right to begin questioning your clarity simply because other people prefer your confusion. If you were to give up in the face of discomfort, you would not have healed. There is a shift in there. You are the limit of freedom. You are the benchmark at this point. Permit them to experience discomfort. Allow the tension to increase. If you allow yourself to be shaken by disorder, the proof will become increasingly obvious. You are not the same person you were in the past, and that is precisely the point. No, you are not here to make amends with your history. Rather, you are here to answer the call that has been placed on your name. Instead of making a comeback, you need to maintain your consistency. It is not by reaction that one can move forward. Rather, it is through reinforcement. Boundaries are not merely emotional boundaries. Rather, they are affirmations of spiritual orientation. At this very moment, yours must be spotless, unambiguous, and free of any apologies. Allow the weight of your silence to be carried by it. When it comes to individuals who alter the truth, you don't need to pursue clarity. You do not have to react to every snide comment that is disguised as care. If you are in a situation when everything around you is demanding your attention, the most effective move you can make is to remain still. Now is the time for protection, not paranoia. Protection is what is required.